I do want to thank you guys for coming and attending, not just the EAKC trade show, but this fireside chat. If we haven't met before, my name is Justin Hiebert, the CEO, co-founder of New Frontier Consulting. We have a booth out there. We're going to talk a little bit about what this concept of Ikigai looks like for us as a business, as a company, but ultimately my goal, my hope is at the end of this, I can give you some practical tools so that you know how you can implement that same sort of philosophy and idea in your business. So this concept of Ikigai, if we were to begin to unpack it, is really just a Japanese term that means a reason for being. So what we want to talk about today is, as a business owner, what is it like for you to have a reason for being? Why is it that you exist? What is that important intersection of both your passions, your hobbies, and what you can get paid for? So we see this diagram here, and so we're really just going to start on the left-hand side of these four circles and begin to work our way around them. But you can see that if you start on the left-hand side, what you are good at, and you pair it with the bottom, what you can be paid for, you have a profession. Congratulations, you have a job, right? It's something that you can wake up and go to every day. You happen to be good at it. Someone's paying you money. It's a pretty good life, but you are missing things like, are you actually solving problems that the world wants to have solved? And is it something that you love? There's a difference between being good at something and loving what you do. If we move to the bottom and start there, talking about what you can be paid for and pair it with the circle on the right, what the world needs, you have a vocation, from the Latin vocare, meaning to call. You have a calling on your life. You now might sense that there is something purposeful and meaningful behind your life, but maybe you're not good at it. So yeah, there's something out there that I know I've been created to do, but I don't know if I'm any good at it, and I'm certainly not enjoying myself every single day. So we're kind of left in this ambiguous state. If we start on the right-hand side, what the world needs, and pair it with what you love, you have a mission. Right now you're clearly about a sense of purpose. The problem is, you see, now you're missing things like, well, you're not getting paid. And many of us as business owners have probably been somewhere up here. We're doing something we love. We feel like the world needs it. We're providing a service, but we don't know what it's like to get paid quite yet. And so what is it to be missing that component? And if we start with what we love and we have what we're good at, then we have this passion, right? There's something about us. We wake up, we know with the purpose upon which we've been created. We know the good that we're trying to do, but things just aren't missing. So you see that at any one of these intersections, if you can't pair all of them together, you are limiting yourself somewhere. Now, my background is in leadership development. It's in burnout, and this is really what we see when leaders fall victim to burnout. There's this sense of overwhelm. There's this sense of, what am I doing? And it's because one of these components, or maybe multiple of these components, is missing. And in order for you to be able to have a business that is scalable and sustainable, you have to live at this intersection of Ikigai, this reason for being. So let me talk just a little bit about what that looks like for us. There's a little bit of my journey kind of embedded in this, but at New Frontier, we do this by talking about our 4M process. So we work with businesses strategically to help in the mindset. That is, how do you actually start to think like a business owner? Now, you may not have ever realized this before, but I'm sure you have experienced our school system, our education system, does a great job at training employees. At 8 o'clock the bell rings and I have math, and at 9 o'clock the bell rings and I have science, and at 10 o'clock the bell rings, I go to recess, and 11 o'clock the bell rings, and that's the schedule. And then we do that all through our education system. Then I get a job, and at 8 o'clock the bell rings and I sit down at my desk, and at 9 o'clock the bell rings and I go have a sales meeting, and at 10 o'clock the bell rings and I go check emails. And far too many business owners get stuck trying to run their business like an employee, because through no fault of their own, that's how they were raised. That's how they've been trained. That's how we have educated our current class of business owners, is to think of their business just like an employee. What's the next task? And the first thing you have to do in building a smart, sustainable, scalable business is think differently. So we work on that mindset capacity to help you actually think like a business owner, and we'll come back to this and actually give you some strategies and tools you can walk out with in a little bit. The second M is management. For years, all I did was executive coaching. I'd work with business owners, I'd work with C-suite executives, and we would talk about how to think like a business owner. And then I moved to California, And if you haven't realized this yet, let me let the secret out. California has some very unique labor laws. Anybody experience that? Yeah, right? Like California just has these laws that if you don't know, they will come after you, and you cannot use the defense of, well, I didn't know that was the law, as something that holds up in court. So now we have started to pair with business owners to say, this is something your business needs to have done, but it doesn't mean you as the business owner have to fake it, have to ignore it, or have to do it yourself. So we can come in as a strategic partner and just say, let us take care of your HR needs so that you can focus on creating this mission and this passion and this purpose, this reason for being. The third M is marketing. How do you get known, found, and talked about online? One of the things that we saw, as recently as the pandemic, right? There's a reason when you pull out your phone and search for coffee near me that you find Starbucks and not all of the amazing local coffee shops that we have. And as someone who is highly caffeinated, we have a lot of amazing local coffee shops here. And it turns out it's not hard, it's not expensive. Starbucks just knows how to play Google's game. And so if we can come alongside the business, again, marketing needs to happen, but do it in a way that helps you play Google's game so that you don't have to worry about it, because we'll do that for you. We can help you with your marketing. And that fourth M is money, because when small businesses get more of it, everybody wins. Businesses, when they start out, a lot of business owners don't get paid right away. Money is always tight and they're losing sleep over it. As the business grows, the employees want to get paid more. They're going to ask about raises. But the biggest driving engine, and the reason we love this money aspect, is because when small businesses get more of it, so does the local community. We support this local this local sandwich shop here in town. And you walk in and we support this soccer club, and we support this volleyball club, and we support this swim team. Anybody been to those sorts of restaurants here in town? Yeah, they can do that because local people support local businesses. So if we can help fix the business owner's mindset, we can help them stay legally compliant, we can help with their marketing, guess what? Now they start to make more money. We call it creating good problems. Our ultimate goal, our ultimate desire, our ultimate reason for being is to help business owners try to solve better problems. Because now we got money coming in. We've got people that are happy. I'm thinking correctly. We're being talked about. Now as the business owner, you get to step into a different phase of what it actually means to be that business owner and start to invest strategically back into the community. So let's talk about, we're specifically going to talk about the mindset component today and the marketing component today, give you some practical tools you can use to walk out here. But how many of us would agree, show of hands, would agree that time is your most valuable asset you have? Most of us, all of us, right? You lose money, it's unfortunate, but guess what you can do? You can go make more, right? You're going to outgrow relationships in your life. It's unfortunate. You can create new relationships. You waste time, it's gone forever. How many of us are brave enough to leave on those screen reporting times that our phones give us? Anybody leave those on? A few of us, yeah? No, why not? Why don't we leave it on?
I don't need it.
Because it tells us how we waste time, right? I spent how much time on Instagram last week? So many of us have just learned to turn it off because we know that time is our most valuable resource. It's our most valuable asset, but we don't want to necessarily be accountable to it. So we talk about your mindset being timed. So what does it look like for you to think like that business owner? We're going to talk strategy instead of tasks in just a little bit and give you some ways that you can walk out here and implement a better strategy. We talk about increasing things like your emotional intelligence, your emotional quotient. Guess what? If you're having a bad day, you can't take it out on your employees. Got a call from a business owner a couple of months ago, and he calls me and goes, Justin, this is the issue we've had with the employee. I was like, okay, the employee's clearly in the wrong. He goes, and then I told him to F off. I'm like, yeah, you can't do that. Just because your employee is clearly in the wrong doesn't mean you get to respond inappropriately. So how do we increase your emotional intelligence and your ability to engage and connect with those around you? The M is managing that clear strategy. What does it look like for you to go to your people and clearly and confidently say, this is where we're at and this is where we're going, and here's the plan to get there, stepping out of the day-to-day tasks and into the future vision. E then is engaging in those performance standards. My favorite example, and he's not for everybody, I get it, but my favorite person to watch when it comes to performance standards, Gordon Ramsay. Now, you may not like his method, you may not like his language, but you cannot walk out of a meeting with that man and wonder where he stands on the issue. This is the way the steak is to be cooked, and this is how I expect it every single time. He uses a bit more vocabulary than I just did, but you know what that standard is, right? He is very clear. I will not let my standard fall just because you didn't meet it. I expect you to rise up to it. Time is important, time matters, time is valuable. Hold that for your employees. And then D, on that time, do we ultimately get to drive the culture and the profits forward? No business wants to remain stagnant. We plan on growth, so how can we step into that? So your mindset, it's timed. It is the most critical thing that you need to nail, or your business will not be able to grow and scale, because if you operate it like an employee, the answer, how much am I going to make this year? However much you can work. And if you're not okay with that formula and trading time for money all the time as a business owner, you have to break that mindset. That's why we start everybody right here. Second component, oh good, we're doing good on time. Marketing. We're going to focus quickly on marketing. As I mentioned in that Starbucks example, it's not hard, it's not expensive. Starbucks just knows how to do it. So we sit all of our clients down, we tell them what the formula is. We don't have anything to hide. We don't try to manipulate it. There's not like some secret Ouija board that we do in the back to try to break the Google code. It's a very basic sort of formula. Listings. Google cares how accurate you are on their website and how accurate you are on other websites. And the more you can increase that, the more you're going to show up on Google. Second part of that, reviews. Everybody pushes them. It's because Google accounts for them. For the last 90 days, how many people have stopped by and left your business a review? If it's not a significant number, you're not going to rank high. Those reviews matter almost more than anything else. Even we tell people the bad ones. The worst thing you can do is ignore a bad review, because what it does in the eyes of all of the other consumers is tells them that that bad review is right because the business owner's scared. Instead, you can use it as a platform to say, here's actually why we don't think this review is valid. So sometimes it's as simple as, you know what, we checked, we don't have any purchase orders from you. Would you mind following up with us? Some people just leave bad reviews because they're nasty people. Or sometimes they change their mind and ordered one thing and you delivered one thing and then, well, no, I wanted this color tile instead of this color tile. You get to control the narrative if you respond to negative reviews. So make sure you are teaching your people to solicit reviews and then respond to them. Social marketing, how are you found on all of the different sort of social media channels? Website, are people staying on your website? Are people clicking? If you're on Amazon for 30 seconds, you're not likely to buy things, but if you're there for 10 minutes, chances are very high you're going to put something in your cart. And now that they have that one-click purchase, they know if they can keep you on the website, the likelihood of you purchasing something is going to go up. SEO, how are you being found when people pull out their phones and search? What is it that they're searching, and how is it that you rise to the top of the list? That's it. Now there's all sorts of fancy ways to do this, right? We can talk print, we can talk digital, we can talk billboards. Like, there's lots of different ways to accomplish these goals, but in terms of trying to understand the strategy of building a compelling marketing system, this is it. There you go. We will gladly share the secrets with you. You want to know how to win on Google? There's your formula. So I promised I would leave you with a couple of strategies. I want to do that. I'm going to give you a handout in a little bit. I'm going to walk you through how you, in your business, in your understanding, and the work that you do, can arrive at this space of Ikigai. How is it that I can take progress today as I walk out these doors and feel like I have a bit more reason for being? I'm going to make sure you walk out with that information. Let's start by talking this difference between working in your business and on your business. Really popularized by this book, E-Myth Revisited. Author, Michael Gerber wrote this book a number of years ago, but it's a fantastic little book that teaches people to make that strategic shift. Instead of focusing on what is produced, they're going to focus on how it's produced so that they can connect with their audience. So, quick practical example. How many hamburger restaurants are here in Bakersfield? 30? We fair with that? I can tell you it's at least that because I Googled this week and I found 3 different top 10 lists and none of those 10 were the same. So there's at least 30. and how they produce it is all pretty much the same. What's produced is the hamburger. The how is going to change. What do we get? I can go to any of these 30 restaurants and get a hamburger. What I need to connect with as the consumer is how. So if you want to make that shift in your business, start connecting people with how your business impacts them. If you value speed in a hamburger, you're going to go get fast food. McDonald's, Wendy's, anything like that. If you value that it's locally sourced, you're going to go to Locale downtown. If you just need like a half a pound of fries, you're going to Five Guys, right? The hamburger is the same in all of them. It's how it gets produced that sets somebody out. So focus on the difference between working in your business and on your business. All of these make hamburgers. Some of them have connected with their audiences better. So now we can do a little daily assessment. This is one of my favorite activities. I'm going to go ahead and pass these out. Feel free to take one. Feel free to mark it up. It's yours. I'm going to give you some strategies. We're going to start by asking 2 simple questions. So we'll get to the handout once everybody receives one. So let me just walk you through what it looks like to work in your business. So do a daily assessment. Is my life consumed with product development, administrative work, marketing, sales, HR functions, staff shifts? If it is, you're working in your business. Now what I want you to hear is that's not bad. Every business owner starts there. When you start the business, you have to make every phone call, reply to every email, and clean every toilet. It's part of what makes those startup businesses sustainable in the early days. But if you need to make that shift into being able to sustainably scale and grow your business, you have to step out of in your business and instead work on your business. Working on things like strategic planning, networking, research development, and your standard operating procedures. So I think the handout has gone around. So now here are the 2 questions that you need to be able to ask so that you can at least take a step today towards getting closer to your Ikigai, your reason for being. All right, so the first one, you see it on that top axis, am I passionate about it? And the second one is, am I proficient? And if we can start to answer those questions, you get to take a huge leap forward. Here's how this looks when we coach people. Sit down. This is why I wanted you to have a handout. I want you to write down, front, back, doesn't matter, every task that you have to do on a given day. And let's just say, for the sake of time, you come up with 100 tasks. Your job in filling out this quadrant is to go from the 100 tasks that you're currently doing down to 10. You must be passionate about it. You must be proficient at it. And if you're not, guess what? You get to sub it out to somebody else. That's part of why we exist as a company. It's why you have employees. But it becomes this way where you can say, what are the things that I can do that drive the business forward? I need this business to grow and scale. I need my employees to know how much I care. I need the community to see my face so that they know how we're giving back and the missions and the causes that we support. Whatever that is for you, if you offload 90% of your task and you're only focused on that core 10, it's going to be what was at that very center of that first slide, that Ikigai, your reason for being. This little handout, I call it being both passionate and proficient, right? It's your core existence. And you can see as you start to look at those tasks, you're going to say, oh yeah, I do this task, but I feel a lot of discord, right? I'm passionate about it, but I'm not very proficient at it. And it helps us, gives us a visual framework to say, is the things that I'm doing every single day really what matters? I learned this lesson a couple of years ago. I'm a checklist person, full disclosure. I got to the end of my day, and my notebook has 15 spaces for checklist items. I got to the end of my day, and I had 27 things checked off. And instead of feeling accomplished, I kind of looked at my list and said, but I don't know that any of this matters. I wasted a day. I wasted my time. It's something I can never get back. That became the catalyst for us to say, how do we help business owners grow and scale? If you can't walk out of these doors knowing exactly what your passion, your purpose, your Ikigai, your reason for existing is, use the handout. Please come talk to me. I've got business cards there. We've got a table. I would love to help you discover that. But this is the thing that gets us up every morning. Business owners change America, and we are proud to support them. I have just a couple of minutes for questions because I talk like 10,000 words a minute. I'm sorry. But I get excited. So we have just a couple minutes for questions before there is a 4 o'clock. Any questions on maybe what this looks like practically or something you want me to clear up for you? Go live with passion and purpose. Thanks for joining me today.